the actual dosage that he used, 6 nanograms per milliliter. What does that actually equate to? Well, first, what is the minimum efficacious dose for ostarine? So we looked back at some of the clinical trials. I went over the ostarine pipeline, I believe, in my first video. By pipeline, I mean the clinical pipeline in which it is being assessed for different indications. It is a research chemical at the end of the day. This is not an approved, FDA-approved drug yet. It is still in clinical trials and has actually failed for lack of efficacy a few times, notably. So it's not that effective of a drug for performance enhancement, but it does enhance lean muscle growth and strength to some extent. But what is the lowest dose you can actually get something out of? At least based on the literature available, we have studies assessing as low as 0.1 milligrams all the way as high as 100 milligrams in about 1,500 subjects. And this was back in, I don't know when I wrote this article, but it was a while ago, but it comprises most of the notable ostarine literature that actually assesses dose increments and what actually equates to an outcome worth evaluating. So percent change in lean body mass is a metric of assessment of efficacy in many of these studies, but also strength. And of course, these aren't healthy populations, but you have to extrapolate what you can as to what is better than like baseline hormone production. And in general, what we see when we dig into the literature is that ostarine at a dose of about 3 milligrams is kind of where you start to get into the territory of increases in power, something that could be chalked up to useful in sport. Anything below that, you're not really getting, especially as a male, highly unlikely to be getting anything worth taking it to begin with. And to be honest, as mentioned in the first video, even if you were looking at this thing seriously, if you're an athlete with even a like room temperature IQ coach on your side would hopefully tell you this is not the compound you want to be using. Like, there is no sane, not completely idiotic person who would ever suggest using ostarine as a PED in boxing. This is a completely absurd choice of a PED with how highly detectable it is, and just, you know, the hordes of anecdotes at this point of people who have been popped by accident, inadvertently most of the case, because it's such a stupid drug to take. All the people that want to hate on Ryan will talk about how ostarine is great for retaining muscle and blah, blah, blah. And it can be helpful for that, for sure. But at the end of the day, like, you would pick a way smarter drug to be taking if you were trying to use an anabolic agent than like one of the most highly detectable, synthetic, selective, not neurologically enhancing, non-psychoactive, like just shitty fucking anabolic drugs, realistically. Like, this thing hasn't even been FDA approved. It is not the go-to choice for boxing enhancement. So, the actual dosage that...
As you just heard, the doctor talks about that PED, ostarine that Ryan Garcia took. Yo, what up, Fight World? She was boxing fanatic. I'm back with another one.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
As you just heard, the doctor clearly explains that the PED that Ryan took didn't help his performance. From what I was getting, I know a lot of people gonna have, I mean, they already saying that Ryan did this and he did that. But as the doctor was saying, that it's basically a crappy drug to take for a boxer to even want to help him, you know, do this or do that in a fight, which is not. So hopefully, I mean, once Ryan, you know, take or go stand in front of the commission, New York State, that he can, you know, bring that video or bring in whatever kind of evidence that he can explain his side of the story to show that, you know, he's a clean fighter and that he won that fight fair and square, and that there would be no more naysayers. But of course, you know, Bill Haney's still going to be pushing the issue, you know, even though Ryan Garcia, you know, he failed those for his A and B sample. And, you know, but as the doctor was basically saying that, you know, that ain't gonna help Ryan Garcia, you know, in any way in that fight, basically, to help him win. Because if there was any other drug he should have took, it probably would have been something to, you know, make him, you know, be as a dominant force. But people fail to realize that Ryan Garcia fought Devin 6 times. You don't think this man know how he fight? You don't think this man know what kind of power he bring? You don't think this man know what he's bringing to the table, what he's getting himself into? Yeah, he know what he's getting himself into. Ryan already said he gave Devin a standing 8 count, and he busted his eardrum. So for Devin to go out there thinking he was going to knock Ryan Garcia out, even though he caught Ryan Garcia with a great shot, as you finna see. I'm about to roll this clip. And you seen Ryan hit his gloves together. You could see Devin caught it with a good shot. But then after that, you seen Ryan just smash Devin. It was just like, you know, when Devin fought Vasily Lomachenko, or before, you could, I'm about to roll this clip of Devin fighting, before he finna fight Vasily Lomachenko. You can read his lips saying, "You too small." Before he fought George Kambosos, he's saying, "You too small." I mean, before he fought Regis Prograis, he's saying, "You too small." You can read his lips. I'm about to roll this clip. Check it out.
Did you hear that? What did he say?
And as you see,
no, you missed it.
Devin,
play it again.
How about you too small?
He said, "You're too small." Vasily Lomachenko. Can you read lips? He said it again. "You're too small. You're too small." Way in between Devin Haney and George Kambosos. Are you reading? He said it again. "You're too small. You're too small." Or then you may think for 2 reasons. Reason 1, because unquestionably, these are the biggest fights of Devin Haney's career. Next. Devin Haney fought Regis Prograis in California at the 140-pound weight limit. But on the night of the fight, Haney gained a 9-pound weight advantage over Regis Prograis. Because after the weigh-in, Haney went from 140 pounds all the way up to 165 pounds overnight. Haney about his son, Devin Haney, gaining 24 pounds after the weigh-ins. And he's talking about Haney fights that took place well before the Prograis fight.
Several times that you were thinking of moving up to super lightweight.
Exactly.
And your son, after the fight, after the weigh-in, the next day he was 24 pounds over the weight division. So we had reports that he could be...
When was he 24 pounds over?
After the weigh-in, the next day when he fought, he was 24 pounds heavier than the day.
He was hydrated. You said he hydrated up to 24 pounds.
So
3-inch reach advantage for Haney, and he outweighed Kambosos significantly on the night of the fight. Lomachenko, you're too small. Devin Haney fought Lomachenko at 135 pounds. Loma is 5'7" and Haney is 5'8". Loma has a 65-inch reach and Haney has a 71-inch reach. This gives Haney major size advantages, a 1-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage.
Devin's too big. Like, I think the size, don't get me wrong, Lomachenko could fight. Devin is way out of his weight class. Like, he's gonna make 35 and then shoot up to 150, 160, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, for ostarine.
Did you hear that?
But yeah, as you just seen. Now, it's one thing where, say, okay, it's okay for you to beat up on little guys and be dominant towards the little guys. But then when you face somebody your same height or just as bigger and just as dominant as you, now it's a problem. Now you cheating. Now it's this. Now it's that. No. When the doctor said clearly, you know, you came over 25 pounds when you fought Regis Prograis. Now, the fight was supposed to be at 140, but Regis Prograis probably didn't really have too much to, you know, he really couldn't really say too much, because at that time, even though he could have, you know, the doctor said that he came over 24 pounds, 25 pounds, and then the day of the fight, he weighed 165 pounds, right? And Mauricio Suleiman and Bill Haney was going back and forth about, you know, Devin Haney coming over 25 pounds, and Mauricio Suleiman was trying to say that, you know, he was going to do something, but he didn't really say or what have you. But my point that I'm making is, as you seen way back in the beginning of the video, that the doctor basically was saying that that PED, that ostarine, is really a drug that's not even, you know, approved yet, and it wouldn't help Ryan Garcia propel to win the fight against Devin. I just felt like Devin, for one, his defense was suspect. His daddy put that battery in his back, boosted his head up, had him feeling some type of way, because Ryan, you know, was all his crazy antics, and Devin, I guess, fell along in the trap. His daddy fell along in the trap. His daddy's bringing up Floyd, saying that Floyd helped him come over 3 pounds. I'm about to roll this clip.
To tell the world about the 3.2 pounds that you helped Ryan Garcia come in overweight with. Now that he done tested positive for 4 PEDs, now you want to head for the hills and go quiet like you in Dubai somewhere. Well, I'm going to tell you.
As you just heard, Bill Haney still mad at Floyd, saying that Floyd did this and Floyd did that. Floyd stay in his mouth like, man, I don't want to say, but yeah, he always saying this about Floyd, but man, Floyd can't tell Ryan what to do. Ryan is his own man. Ryan is his own man. Your son defense was not up to par. He was lacking in certain areas. Well, he should have been dominant. He couldn't do those things that he did against George Kambosos twice. Vasily Lomachenko, people were saying that Vasily Lomachenko won, and the things that he did against Regis Prograis. But you got to realize that when you go against somebody that know how you fight and faced you 6 times, of course he gonna know these things. Y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about this, man. If y'all feel some type of way, man, you know, let's chop it up in the comments, all right? Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. One love, one life. I'm out. Peace.